Okay, y'all, I am back to share this speed writing shorthand set of books. Um, these were all owned by the same woman. Her name was Joanne Blackman, and she actually went to school right up the road. I say right up the road, I live in Texas, right up the road in San Angelo. So I have the complete set, book 1, 2, 3, the dictionary, and the dictation and transcription book. And these are from the 1950s, 1954, I believe. I'll double check in a minute. They are discolored. They do have some dents, and this one's got a scratch across here. The corners are dented. These were well used. She wrote notes in them, some in blue ink, some in pencil, some in red ink, and I'll show some of that. What's interesting is she put her address and all of her information in here. And she lived at 1617 West Beauregard, apartment 11 in San Angelo, Texas. She started school March 11th, 1959 at San Angelo Business College in San Angelo, Texas. And then she lists her name. These had been printed over and over throughout the years. This one actually says 1957 was the last printing for the one that I have of the dictation and transcription. The dictionary, and you can see here, this is all her writing. These are notes that she was taking in class. This one says 1954. And according to these books, it didn't matter when they were printed, 1954. It mattered that the pages that she needed to turn in order to complete the course were still inside of the books when she started the course. 1954. And then book 1. You can see Speedwriting Shorthand, Alexander L. Sheff Century Edition by Speedwriting Publishing Company. This one also 1954. So interestingly enough, in the front of the books, there are these notes. And it says, to guard the set of books carefully, you must present this set of books along with the National Registration Form on page 116, properly validated when you apply for lifetime privileges. Free National Employment Service. They had schools in 400 cities. Free National Transfer Service. Free National Brush-Up classes. This was all included in the cost of the course. These are your personal privileges. They cannot be transferred and are void if the set of books is not in your possession when you apply for them. And then it says, you must fill in the national registration form yourself. Do not let anyone else fill it in, except no explanations or substitutions. And later on in the books, it says, to find it, it says that she has to turn in the original paperwork. I don't remember which books, and it might be in the dictation. I'll find it eventually. But she had to turn in the original paperwork and have these books with her when she went to turn in that paperwork. Now, when flipping through the books, she did complete the course. In the back of several of the books, there are going to be missing pages. could see that. These missing pages were assignments that were required, and she had to have they're perforated where you could tear them out, and she had to turn in each of the assignments and the page 116, which is missing out of the books. And when you flip through these books, the first book, book 1, starts with page 1 and ends with page 84, except these pages are missing because she turned them in. Book 2 starts at page 118. So page 116 that she needed to turn in to complete the course was in this book. I would have loved to have seen what the requirements were and the way that form looked. This book goes from 118, and you can see she had assignments here in the back of this book as well, to 210. And here's the notice for the assignments. The following writing assignments are an essential part of your speed writing shorthand course and are a thorough test of your knowledge up to that point. These writing assignments have been bound right into the textbook to assure that no matter where you study speed writing shorthand, you are meeting the exacting requirements which prevail throughout the country. Do not use any paper for these assignments other than those bound into the textbook, or you will not receive proper credit. If any writing assignment is missing, return this book and insist upon a new complete copy. And each book has this notice in it. They were very strict. Look at these pages, they're awesome. These are sturdy pages. They're matte finish. Really cool. I could not imagine trying to learn shorthand back in the day so that you could become a secretary. It's just crazy that the things that they had to learn. So book 3 also, she tore the assignments out. And here's an example of where she was using red ink to underline things and make notes. Red ink, here's blue ink. And you had to learn all of this, and then she says she needs to transcribe this. So in this particular book, she's taking shorthand and she has to rewrite it in long form using the vocabulary that they would use back in the 1950s. More red writing. She says transcribe. This is in pencil. Transcribe, written in blue. In each book, she has different notes. And this one, this is book 2. Oops. She has lookup error. So maybe she missed something on a test or something, and she made a note. There are other places here, more notes that she was making in class. Need to transcribe that. There's another book where she was writing the days of the week as if they were homework assignments or study assignments that she needed to complete. After a figure D for dollars, and then she's showing dollar signs. Where she was, this is where she was trying to copy something maybe that she was having a hard time with. And then in book 1, I'm sorry, book 3, more red. Oh, this was the one I just showed. I was going to show book 1. See? I knew what I meant. It says 5 steps. Study the basic rules. Write half line of every word in the lesson. Memorize the brief forms. Read and write the reading lesson. The writing assignment in the back of the book. And then again, it reiterates page 116 and 117. There is a special national registration form which must be filled out immediately. Also in these books, it says that this was used for Canada, the UK, and the US. And that if she transferred to a school outside of the US and it was in Canada or the UK, they would still honor everything about the class. So that was kind of neat. And this is just tons and tons and tons of things that they had to learn. Very curvy, very artistic. I can see why it was important, because it could be easily confusing if you didn't have, you know, almost perfect handwriting. More notes to the student. Okay. And then this is the dictionary, and it has 3 sections in it. Again, these are her notes. These are her notes. Interestingly, it says femme sole, FEMESOLE. A lone woman signing a legal paper is called a femme sole. And then these are all the requirements for writing letters. Use legal paper. Make at least a carbon copy. Double space between the lines. Indent for paragraphs. At least a 70 space line. 3 spaces from the heading to first line. Leave 2 inches at the top. Do not fold legal papers. Capitalize according to office rules. Number pages at the bottom. Centered and 1 inch from the bottom. I also think that she may have originally been from Uvalde, Texas. Kind of interesting. By the way, the apartment complex she lived in San Angelo is still there, but it's numbered differently now. There's a dictionary of 20,000 words, and then the summary of different forms and medical prefixes and suffixes. And they were like unique languages. Here's the dictionary. Every word had its own alternative shorthand word. Just page after page after page that they had to learn. Which is, you know, why they kept these as reference books when they completed their course. And then back here, here's the forms. Now, I don't know why it just says summary of brief forms, but it just looks like another dictionary list. And then different suffixes for medical terms. And then in this one, this is the dictation and transcription. And some of these are starting to, you know, age here in the crack of the spine. They're starting to crack. This one has tons of stuff in it. This one has letter writing, typewriting, how to properly use a typewriter, how to fold letters, how to mail letters, how to address envelopes. There are tons and tons and tons of examples of letters in here. And in a few minutes, you will see where she was having to take these letters and transcribe them into shorthand. And see here it says Wednesday. Wednesday in blue ink. Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday, I'm sorry, that's my phone in the other room and I can't go get it right now. Wednesday. And then here's some red ink where she's made marks. Wednesday. So all these are different examples of letters. And then we'll keep going back. And I will say these books do smell like an old library. They don't stink, but they have, you know, that good, I found this in the bottom shelf way back in the back, old library smell. Tabulation, special techniques, and transcription. This is all about math and math tables and things that you would normally see handwritten in ledgers. And this is all about how to use your typewriter and how to arrange your numbers and columns and things with your typewriter. And it shows the methods for two different kinds of typewriters and how those are different. Capitalization, hyphenating, writing mathematical figures, Roman numbers, fractions, how to type out fractions on your typewriter. And then there are these different characters, spacing for marks of punctuation. Woo. How to make copies, how many copies you should make, referencing initials, where you should sign and where you shouldn't sign documents, where to put charts on your documents. And then here are the different letter block styles that they had to learn just for letter writing. And in a minute, we'll look at mailing, personal letters versus business letters. Here's envelopes, how to properly address your envelopes. And then this was pretty interesting too, how to fold your letters. Look at the rate on the first class mail, 3 cents per ounce, and postcards were 2 cents each. And that was in the 1950s. State abbreviations. And then here they make a big deal out of proofreading. Here's the proofreading marks that they had to use when proofreading. Also in here are grooming habits, how to stand, how to sit, how to stand up from a sitting position. It was an etiquette course along with the office type course. So anyway, this whole set is available over on my Etsy shop. I love history, guys. I love reading and learning about this kind of stuff. I can't take these apart, especially since my grandmother lived in San Angelo up until she died. And, you know, I know the area. And like I said, it's part of my Texas history, the San Antonio Business College. And I can't take them apart. And I know that there are some junk journalers who are interested in seeing these books, but I can't do it. So I put them for sale on my Etsy shop, and I'll link it below, and a link to my Facebook page so you can see new things that I'm adding. Very, very interesting set of books. I was lucky to find the complete set altogether. So hopefully someone gets them and loves them. Thanks for watching, you guys.